Hello listeners, and welcome back to Chasm Converses. As part of this special double episode week, this next conversation is with one of my good friends, Madz Winter. We talk about her time gigging in rockabilly band Raunchy Sugar while still being in high school. We also chat about recording and her acoustic duo, and throughout this episode we also had Madz's dog Indi joining us, and she makes her presence known a few times. Let's get conversing. Chasm Converses.
Article she's
There's
now
a
out.
dog in the room. That should be like people might listen to dog noises.
That's alright.
That could be funny.
ASMR dog noises.
Anyway, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's really cool. I did like a little bit of research, just not too much.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I mean, we've known each other for so long, so it's like, there's a few things I know, a few things I don't know, and all that sort of thing. But even so, I usually like just to do these podcasts just to talk about live stuff and people who perform and creative and all that sort of thing. And you're definitely one of those people. So
yeah, for sure.
You've been like obviously invested and involved in a lot of music and all that sort of stuff for a very, very long time. Obviously, you and I know each other from high school, back in the Blackwood High School days.
Yeah.
And one of the things I actually sort of realised today was, I think it was in year 11, that I met you and you were in year 9 or something.
Yeah,
and most times when people
probably.
are sort of in music in high school, they're sort of learning their craft so that maybe they can be a teacher or maybe they can be in a band. But you were basically already kind of in a band.
Yes, yeah. So, started gigging at 15.
Ooh, wow.
So year 9, year 10, I started gigging.
Yeah, how did it feel to sort of be, I guess, like sort of know that you're kind of in a band doing a lot of live music stuff while also still going to school and studying music and that sort of stuff?
Yes, it kind of made school not really matter.
Yeah.
So it was weird because you're thrown into the adult world, pretending you're 25 when you're 15. And dealing with all of that and getting to be paid to play music.
Yeah. Then you're getting paid. That's almost like a job.
Well, it was. So I guess it made me grow up a lot, and very quickly because, you're like out working in pubs and clubs and wineries and stuff. Whilst others are playing computer games or, I don't know, drunk in a gutter somewhere at a house party.
I was one of those two.
I grew up with music my whole life. So, Dad obviously being a muso, always grew up going to pubs and watching him play. So it pretty much was a done deal when I was a child, really, that I was going to end up gigging. And then, he got to, I always wanted to be a singer, and he made me do piano lessons up until grade 5. And then once I got to that, I was allowed to have singing lessons.
That's awesome.
And then, then it all kind of came naturally because I guess you have the ear for it.
Yeah.
Like playing piano and stuff, you can hear the notes quite clearly, absolutely. Quite nicely. And then from there, he was happy enough to let me start gigging.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Because obviously the band you guys were involved with was called Raunchy Sugar. And I remember that back in the day. I came to a few gigs.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, that was fun. They were long gigs too. Like sometimes you'd be playing up to 4 or so hours.
4 hours.
Just like a whole long thing.
Yeah.
Like 3 slight intermissions, almost like 3 sets. I guess it was,
Yeah, some would be 4 sets, 4 shorter sets. Others would be 3 longer sets. But, it was generally a 4-hour stint on a Friday night or a Saturday night or a Sunday afternoon, really. We'd have the occasional we did a lot of rockabilly music festivals and stuff like that, and they were much easier. They were kind of like a 1 to 2 hour 1 or 2 setter kind of situations. So they were a bit easier, but don't mind my dog. But the 4 set pub gigs were fun because it's a rowdy atmosphere. Everyone's there to have a good time. So
absolutely. That's awesome. How was it? How did it sort of feel, like I said, just being like young, getting smashed right into that sort of pub scene, because there was like around 5 or 6 of you, I think it was, that played all together.
Yeah, there was usually 5, sometimes 4, sometimes 6.
Yeah.
So generally speaking, there were 2 front girls, and then there was drums, bass, guitar.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'd get some sax going on.
Yeah, nice.
Sometimes we'd have some keys. It just kind of depended on the gig and how much they were going to pay us, really. But generally speaking, it was a five-piece band. So, the energy was really fun. Jess and I bounced off of each other a lot, so that was really fun and kind of gave a nice dynamic you don't often see 2 front people. True. So it was quite fun.
That's brilliant. I would love to talk to you about like your influences and like the artists that you listen to that sort of, I guess, inspires your own sort of set on your voice, because you've got obviously an amazing voice that, as we learned maybe a couple of years ago when you worked with me on a metal song, you can work in all styles of sort of different things. So like who are the people that you sort of grew up listening to?
So like every little Australian girl, I grew up listening to Delta and Kylie Minogue. I grew up in a muso household, so there was always jazz, there was always blues, bit of reggae.
Yeah.
There wasn't really any like folk or country really going on, but there was, just always really just reggae, jazz, blues, bit of rock here and there, that kind of thing. But then, when I was kind of learning to sing, I guess, and finding my own influences, my biggest ever influence is Amy Winehouse. So, so I used to just mimic her all the time, I guess, and kind of learnt how to sing in that style from that. But then I really got into Etta James and Beth Hart and some really big blues artists as well. Always really loved the funk scene as well, like Jamiroquai and James Brown and all that kind of thing. So now I guess I draw a lot of my influences still from that. But I've started listening to a lot of kind of like African music, Afro beats and stuff. And a hell of a lot more reggae. I'm not sure if it's just because it's not what I play and I enjoy listening to it, but then I'm kind of, I guess, mimicking some of those vocal voicings and stuff when I'm doing like my music now.
Introducing
Nice. But then I go through sessions with John Mayer all the time too.
Yeah, I think most people do.
So, that comes and goes. And but it's really been like New Zealand reggae has been what I've been listening to a lot of Fat Freddy's Drop, a lot of LAB.
Some things I didn't know. This stuff.
Yeah, and I've really been getting around a few new soul acts as well. There's an artist called Alan Stone that I've really been digging recently.
Right, okay.
So, I don't really ever listen as much to like that jazzy kind of influence anymore. But, you still play it sometimes and you're like, oh, fuck, that's good. Like, that's why I listen to it. But,
Have you ever been able to see any of your, like, influencers, like, do their own live shows and their own live performances? Like, have you ever gone to go see, like, did you get to see Amy Winehouse or, like...
No, so I never... Like yes, I did, actually. As a kid, I think I went to 3 Kylie concerts and 2 Delta. I could be wrong, Mum, if you're listening.
Yes.
It's maybe 1. But, I definitely as a kid saw that. And then, I haven't seen... I never got to see Amy Winehouse.
Yeah, okay.
But, I have been... to see quite a few people that I really like. I haven't seen John Mayer, but saw Alan Stone just recently at Harvest Rock Festival, which was really good.
I wasn't familiar with.
No, and it was great. So it was really good to see him, and as I was saying, kind of been listening to some more like funky world music as stuff as well. So I've really been getting into Currumbin too. They played there as well.
Right. Cool.
And then went and saw. I forgot to mention Parcels. Really been digging Parcels because it's kind of the Jamiroquai new generation. So I saw them back in November. But just post COVID, I've just been trying to get out and see, like, everyone's touring. So
very true.
Yeah.
Especially here, there are so just many, especially this year now that I'm leaving.
Yeah, of course.
They're just all picked up. Like, you've got Knotfest, and then you have, I think, Snoop Dogg's coming here 50 Cent.
Of course he is, yeah.
There's like a bunch of other like metal bands that just were here, I think, the other week or something like that.
Yeah.
There's so much going on, which is crazy. And it's all in that one like period of March to February, maybe just on April. And it's just like, damn, it's very not happy.
No. Yeah, I think everyone is touring now that COVID's over and done with. So it's a good time to see music at the moment.
Yeah, how did you go through that whole sort of period? I don't want to obviously shed too much of a light on the old COVID times, but obviously, you and me both obviously black performers. So how did you sort of deal with not being able to do your thing for a while?
Yeah, we were pretty lucky actually, as most of my gigs are acoustic duo, or really maybe that's what COVID did. COVID kind of got rid of all the band. Like, I was doing a lot of band work, so I guess that's where that happened.
It got rid of all the bands, so you could come in with the acoustic duo.
So I kind of started doing a lot of duo work, but I was still doing quite a bit of band work, and then that just kind of scrapped it. Yeah. Venues didn't want bands. They don't want people dancing. They didn't want that party atmosphere that got them into trouble, really.
Yeah.
So music was just scrapped, but there are a lot of good initiatives and budgets to keep acoustic music in South Australian venues. One of the best ones was that Adelaide City Council started doing a winter weekends thing. So they were booking musos Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and that started in 2020 when COVID started. So essentially the council set musos up, paid the bills for the musos to play, put them through the West End, East End, and Central City, and put them in locations where they could benefit 3 or 4 venues.
Right.
So that they weren't, playing favourites with the venues, but they were putting music on. They were giving musos the opportunity to gig, paying their bills, and then helping the venues out. So that really was a lifesaver.
Awesome.
So that one was really good, kept us going. And then my other residencies kind of just were here and there. They'd come and go, depending on restrictions at the time and stuff like that. But we were pretty lucky. We didn't lose too much. I lost quite a few venues that I used to play at, and then they just stopped music, I guess. And all of the band shit's just gone out the window. Prior to COVID, I was doing a lot of wedding receptions and stuff as well. And
it's true.
I just kind of lost that. And that just, I guess like through COVID, just kind of lost the connections for that and fell through. But still do heaps of wedding ceremonies and cocktail hours and stuff like that. So started DJing a little bit during COVID. Zach and I bought some tables, and that was kind of my COVID hobby, was to mess around with that and learn how to DJ a little bit. It was either that or we just missed performing, so
exactly.
Just kind of learn a new skill while you can.
Awesome. Obviously, you are in like your acoustic duo with your partners. It's awesome. And you guys play so many different venues and that sort of thing as well. Like also wineries and stuff, especially in Adelaide, which is there's no shortage of wineries around here. Yeah,
that's one thing that's come out of COVID. A lot of pubs haven't kept music on, but wineries have. Everyone's taken a big turn to heading to a winery for an afternoon rather than do a tasting. It's go there, chill out like you would have in a pub, but now wineries have got this huge emergence, and I guess that probably stemmed from all the COVID restrictions, and they were one of the easiest places to get people back and outside, because most of them rely on outdoor seating and that kind of thing.
They do. And because a lot of them are like obviously in McLaren Vale, Blue Springs, or like Barossa, those outdoor areas, most of them are quite big and spacious, so you could have that distance between
exactly. And I think people just felt more comfortable, I think, going to those kind of places, and during the day and stuff. Like, I've definitely found the city's never as busy anymore, and the venues are coming and going, whereas I guess the wine sector never really took too much of a hit, with everyone sitting at home drinking wine. So.
Yeah, true. And you're obviously much of an avid wine drinker yourself. Yeah. We're sitting here having some beers while we're doing this, which is nice. I think this is the Vale.
Good old Vale Pale.
The Vale Pale, which is quite good, And obviously you should play so many different wineries and that sort of stuff. Do you ever go in and sort of have yourself a tasting or have like a little one like a full set or?
Generally not really. Most wineries hook you up anyway and give you a drink or two or three.
Yeah.
So you kind of and some of them, you know, you play it every month, so you make your way through their wine list over the course of the year, I guess. But but I like to, if I have a day off and people are wanting to do something, I like to then give back and go to those wineries and watch someone else play, and then you can do a bit of a tasting there or try. But I'm a firm believer in supporting venues that support music rather than, you know, the old Coles pub down the road who got rid of all their music.
Yeah, no, true that.
Rather support a small winery that's forking the bill out.
And with your, like, obviously with the sets you do for the cover, for the acoustic duo, do you guys do mainly just cover songs, or do you have some original songs that you've kind of written yourself? Because obviously you guys live together and have been doing it for a while now. Yeah. Have you sort of forked out any original stuff together?
To be honest, I haven't really done much. Zach writes heaps and he will do an instrumental here and there and play that. But most of the time you're expected to play covers that people know and love. But half the time people ask me if what I'm playing is a cover or an original because I play some shit that's not on top 40. So, you know, they don't, a lot of it. So I could probably really get away with it. Yeah. When I jump up at a few blues gigs here and there, and then you do a bit of a jam on an original or something like that. But yeah, I through just the acoustic stuff, we haven't really done too much original stuff, but it's definitely something that this year you can chuck in. Yeah. I reckon a few tunes here and there, and no one would bat an eyelid.
Yeah, no, definitely, yeah. That was like into one of the things I actually wanted to ask you for a while, because obviously like you've done a little bit of recording that I know of with myself, with Kazar, and with Hear Me and that sort of thing. Have you done any other recording besides the ones that we've kind of done together? Not
original stuff, no. Really? I have done some work for kids' entertainment, which was really fun. Nice. So yeah, recorded a bit of that. That was another leading into COVID, what am I doing with my life? Situations. So yeah, did a bit of that and have recorded some like just stuff for promotional things really. Like I haven't, yours was the first like purely original project that I worked on. I guess when you're in the cover scene, you get so obsessed with the money. Yeah. And like it becomes like it's a full job really. Yeah. And the money is great. And then you kind of get stuck in that loop of learning songs to play and better yourself in that regard, and you kind of lose track of making your own music unless you do it completely full-time, you live and breathe it.
Yeah, in fact, if you were working 2 jobs full-time, if you had like, you know, if you're doing like, you know, your full-time job as well as your acoustic job, it'd be hard to find any creative time to do anything else. Yes. Especially when it comes to like recording original music. So it'd be very, very difficult.
Yeah, it definitely is because I guess you give yourself 40 hours of being at somewhere else and then life on top of that, and try to have a healthy lifestyle and go to the gym and have a social life and, you know, things like that. And and it really does get to the point where you're like, what? Like say the weekends we do 3 gigs or 4 gigs, you just go, I really don't need a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And then it would give you so much time to work on original projects and feel the passion a little bit more. Yeah. But then, you know, I guess COVID really put the dampener on it where you just in a day lose 60 gigs. And so then you just run the risk of it. But that's where I'm at the moment. It's a bit of a limbo on do you give up the 9 to 5? Do you keep the 9 to 5?
Yeah, because it's obviously getting home like late in the day is hard sometimes. Yeah. Because then it's like, shit, I've got like maybe 4 or 5, like no, maybe 4 hours until I actually go to bed.
Yeah.
Do that whole thing.
And you try and, you know, walk your dog and go to the gym and clean your house and
look after your bird.
Yeah, the bloody bird. Yeah, just all the adult stuff, I guess.
Yeah. Like I was gonna say, because like when we were doing the K's round and stuff, and like because you came in the studio twice, obviously.
Yeah.
Like you just seemed so at home there.
Yeah.
And it was just my brain just clicked into the fact that she's been here before. She knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
And it's like well, maybe she actually hasn't.
Yeah. No, I've done a bit of recording, but it's always been like, this is what you're singing. This is what you're gonna do.
Right.
And then I guess my only creativity has been how to deliver it, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I've done a bit in the studio, but it was fun. It was fun to do something different.
Yeah, no, I had a great time doing it.
Yeah. And there's some guys that I was playing with prior to the Big C that we were doing lots of gigs with, and then they're speaking of doing some original stuff this year, and and not necessarily even gigging it, but recording it.
Just studio doing it.
Yeah.
Right. Cool.
Yeah, because just for something different, and just try it. Like one of the guys is a sound tech and just wants to try some new sounds and new things and experiment with that a bit, and you know, you can do what you want when it's an original, and you know,
exactly.
Layer 500 voices or do whatever you want to do.
So much creativity can come your way when you're doing that.
Yeah. So that'll be fun, like working with a band and coming up with that.
Yeah.
So
I was going to ask you if you were going to do some original stuff one day, because I think you probably should.
Yeah. I know. It's one of those things that I just every year shoot myself in the foot, and every year it's I should write and record some original stuff this year, and then the next year rolls around and you're like, damn it, I've done 50 cover gigs and earned heaps of money, but haven't
spent this long
recorded anything.
I spent this long at my 9 to 5.
Spent 52 weeks there.
Yeah.
So no, it's definitely something I need to do, and I really need someone to. I need to kick my butt into gear.
Yes, I mean, if you need someone to record you. Obviously, we both know a man in Jack Hartley, who was fantastic with you last time. So you know, and he's always
what a legend.
He's always got jobs piling up as they come back. He's always pretty good. I'm killing him at the moment with the amount of stuff that I've got going.
Pumping it out. Before.
Yeah, basically, I think this. I think I was in the studio for 5 weeks in a row, and this now on Friday. I think I've technically had a week off, but then I'm back on Friday for a song that's got nothing to do with my solo project.
Really?
It's a completely different song with Sam.
It's
another one.
I love that.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy and really, really dumb, but either way, it's gonna be fun. But no, like it's always so fun just doing all the music stuff and getting involved in that sort of stuff. And it's sick, and you're doing so well. Just obviously just keeping your dog very, very calm the whole time she's been in the room.
She wants to sing.
Yeah. I had my friend on the podcast the other day, and he had a cat who just decided to barge into the room, and that'll be coming before this podcast actually. But even so, it's going to be like an editing nightmare. Trying to like figure that all out and do it all is just going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Even so. But no, this has been fantastic.
Yeah.
I've loved talking to you about all this sort of stuff.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah, it's always quite fun kind of doing this, because sometimes you just don't really have like in-depth talk with your friends or that sort of stuff. And then it's also pretty good for the person that you're sort of talking to, because then they can sort of, reflect on the spot.
Yeah, like me. I really need to get my originals.
Exactly. And they're like, shit, I should do that, eh? Yeah. Maybe this is like the click.
That's it. Like you need someone interrogating you.
In a very nice space, I would say. Yeah, this is quite a nice space to be interrogated. So, no, thank you, Madz. This has been so much
thanks
fun.
for having me.
I really appreciate you being on my podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to our episode this week. I hope that you've enjoyed the conversation with Madz. I hope that you've enjoyed the conversation with Ben. It's been a really big double episode week, and I personally hope that you've enjoyed all of it so far. Feel free to like and subscribe to the Instagrams, the Facebooks, and all the socials. Next week, we got another conversation right back on the Wednesday, so do tune in. We'll be right back here next week on Chasm Converses.